What's up, everybody, and welcome to All for Footy, the AFL podcast where good friends gather and gab about last week's games, this week's games, and everything in between. You can find us on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify, so go please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm your host, Nathan, Mr. 9 out of 9 Norman, joined by the man who's all hat and no cowboy. It's Ryan, the big wheel Fenton. How you going, Wheels?
Hey, mate, how you going? How you going, boys? All right?
I asked you how you're
great,
going.
mate.
You answer my question. All right? How are you going?
I don't think anyone ever gets to ask how you're going.
Like, every fucking week, everyone asks me how I'm doing. They don't answer my question. How are you going?
I'm good, mate. It's been a good weekend of footy, and that's, unpredictable week, but yeah, I'm always good, mate. Always good to be here on the pod, fellas.
And cats.
Yeah, good to hear, good to hear. Alright, and also joining us, as usual, via live stream, it is the second best podcaster in the world. It's Daniel, the Big Daddy Raby.
Yeah, third time on Discord in my career, and getting used to it every time I roll along, sitting on the couch with the cat, and, just as comfortable as it can be. And, if I can just roll to a couple of my favourite sayings, couldn't get a kick in a stable, rustier than a Titanic's butt, and happier than a butcher's dog. And I'll put it to three teams. I'll put it to couldn't get a kick in a stable. I mean, let's give it to Carlton. I mean, they couldn't get a kick in a stable at the moment, could they? And rustier than the Titanic's butt, let's give it to Essendon. I mean, they're just rustier than the Titanic's butt at the moment, aren't they? And happier than the butcher's dog, let's give it to the horse. Oh, Johnny Longmire, wouldn't he happy with that win on the weekend? So, what a big weekend of footy, and can't wait to rip into it.
Interesting you mentioned a couple of those teams, because I was just looking back, it was bloody the big three, wasn't it? About round 15 or 14, they were sitting first, second, third and fourth.
Makes me smile.
And now, sitting bloody 9th, 10th, 11th, all three of them. So, a big drop-off from the big three.
You hate to see it.
8 weeks ago.
To have Collingwood, Carlton and Essendon sitting 9th, 10th and 11th, and to have the Dogs, Hawthorn and Geelong making up the 8 for Victorian side. So, yeah, it's a real flip around, isn't it? But it's exciting for the other teams that aren't that are a bit spiteful of the bigger teams, and obviously Richmond's not up there at the moment. So to see all three drop out of the 8 across the year, it's fantastic. And Melbourne, obviously, probably the one who's just not really getting talked about too much. But
shut your mouth. Yeah. All right. Also joining us on the tech side of things. He's faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive. He can leap tall buildings in a single bound. Almost fucked it up there. It's the man of steel. Steelo, how you going?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. It's nice to be behind the curtain tonight. And, got the nice purple lights back here, just chilling out and making sure everything's good. I'm the overseer. So,
keeping us intact, mate.
Stay on your best behaviour, boys, and watch out.
Exactly. Want some lo-fi?
Enjoy the episode, ladies and gentlemen. She's going to be nice.
Yeah. I didn't know Steelo would make it in the house tonight after the result over the weekend, but he's pulled through. Well done, Steelo.
Yeah. Didn't they start well? Oh,
he's not scared to stand up and face the music. All right.
They started like a locomotive.
Unlike a Mr. Petracca.
Ended like a not like a locomotive.
No, fair enough.
Big discussions on Brisbane.
Oh, we will go into that, Daniel.
Yes, we will go into that right now. This week's games, or last week's games. It was, let's start this round, this freaking tough round. But yeah, we'll start with the first game. It was Friday night football at the SCG. Sydney versus Collingwood. Sydney, 13-11, 89 to Collingwood, 12-14, 86. Sydney by 3 points in a barn burner. Fenno, what have you got to say for yourself?
Oh, wowee, mate. Wowee, as BT would say. That was a bloody incredible game. Under the lights at the SCG Friday night. Big occasion for, the Swans to try and get a W from the last 6 weeks they've been playing average. And the Pies need the W just to keep their season alive, didn't they? But wowee, it was a bit close game right to the end. It was, I think, Pies ended up about 27 points up, and then the old Swannies kicked bloody five goals of the games to bloody seal the game. So unbelievable. I was watching it thinking, the Pies have got this. I'm going to have a horrible weekend, but it all turned around from there. So well done, Swannies, and yeah, tough times for Pies. But as we all know, with the other results that happened on the weekend, the Pies are actually most likely still got a half a chance. So
yeah, they might have half a chance. Exactly. And yeah, well, look, you said all that, but you didn't bring up Isaac Heaney. And
I'm going to bring him up. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that.
Difference maker he was in that last quarter. His hands, every time the ball was kicked to him, he won that contest every time in that last 5-10 minutes when it really counted.
Yep.
It was just
and
like
the crucial goal too he kicked. Yeah, and the crucial goal we kicked, mate. I reckon that a lot of people say it's probably the best final quarter. Best players played on home. So
I think he deserves a Steve Irwin.
Even Warner stood up in that last corner too. He hasn't had as much media about it, but he was huge in that last quarter too for the Swannies. So
yeah,
they just needed it, mate. They needed that win to stay on top of the ladder, and
and we like seeing the Pies take a loss. We do like it, do we not?
Yeah. Oh, we love it, mate. We love it as a country. We love it. So
I felt like the coach knew when in the after game presser he gave a little backhander there to the umpires, and he probably carried on just a little bit, which he did come out and apologise for, and the AFL actually gave him a warning to say, you got to make sure you're not overstepping the mark in your after matches. But I feel like he knew that was their season done, because if they had pinched that, they get two games at the MCG to finish the year. If they had won that, they'd be right with Hawthorn, maybe just ahead of Hawthorn, so they would have been 8th. And Collingwood would have been right amongst actually being a tilt here because of momentum. Maybe they pinch an elimination final at the G, or suddenly go 3 matches in a row at the G. So I think just the coach knew that moment, that game, that was it, and they just lost it. And they had that decision late there where the bloke overstepped the mark. And I think good decision by the umpire not to pay the free kick, because the 50, because it was momentum that carried him forward, and in all seriousness, that's such a minuscule 50 to pay in the moment. But in the way it was there, so he didn't pay it, and that was what the coach was upset about from Collingwood. But Sydney just got away with it in the end, and Collingwood realistically just have probably missed out on finals by an umpiring decision. So I think we had all right to be upset about that on the weekend.
But also, it was a bit sooky, but you got to remember, only a couple of weeks back, mate, the same thing happened against North Melbourne for the Pies. So, and North got ripped. So
they get it, and that's why he definitely said he understands they do a good job. But Horse, Longmire, give the man credit, came out during the week on Monday and had a reply, and came back at the Collingwood coach, which made for some interesting fuel in the media, stating how Collingwood get 14 games at the MCG, plus the 3 away games they play there a year, equaling 17
they bring in the crowds.
So, he let them know very quickly that... it's been going on all week, the little banter between the two clubs.
What made that is pretty much Craig and Craig said, if that decision happened at the MCG, it would have been paid. That's pretty much what he was saying, wasn't
it? It feels like a lot more likely that it would have been paid, but you can't guarantee it. So you just move on. That's the way footy's played. But it was very interesting, wasn't it? And what a game! What a game between two clubs that at the moment have built. If that's not one of the great rivalries in modern day footy, just the way even that prelim finals a couple of years ago and the games at ANZ Stadium over the years, and just their rivalry, big city clubs head to head, and you could hear Collingwood had the dominant crowd there, so it was, what a game! It was a really good game.
Was there everywhere.
I always think of Nick Davis when those two clubs play each other.
Yeah,
good old Nick Davis.
Oh, you love thinking about guys all the time.
They never die.
All right, let's move on to the next game. It is Saturday football at the Gabba. Brisbane versus GWS. Brisbane 8-16-64. GWS 13-4-82. GWS by 18 points in quite an upsetting game. Wouldn't you say, Steelo?
I'm very upset back here. Just wiping the tears from my eyes.
Yeah, my heart went out to you.
Choking up a bit, actually, so you might have to take over.
Reeves, what do you got?
Oh, on the Brizzy Giants game, I thought
That's what we're
Steelers
talking
gonna
about.
give us a big samosa. But
Give us your samosa.
I was very excited to see Brisbane leading 5 goals to zip at quarter time. When I saw the scores, I was walking along at golf and I'm checking in and I'm going 31-1 or 2. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then when I checked in a bit later, it was level peggings. So Giants obviously kicked about the next 4 or 5 in a row, I reckon, because I watched the game all day on my phone. I was just watching the scores. I had it on live, but I wasn't watching it. I watched it later when I got home. And turned into a real slingshot game there because all of a sudden the Giants dominated play after conceding 4 and 5 goals early. And they've ended up kicking the 13 goals to Brisbane only 8. We've only put on another 4 goals for the game. Another 3 goals there. And how impressive the Giants. At the moment, just a couple of Jones for them, who's just a young...
the helmet.
Who's come through and he's playing just a small forward role, but he's sort of just dashing in through the middle there. And how effective is he? These sort of players for the Giants are the gold mines in the middle there, where they've been able to put Benford into the middle a bit more and still have Jones come in and do his little bit. And no one almost knows of him, not getting a lot of attention. But they're stronger than last year on their list. They haven't lost anyone. Hogan's playing great footy, and they've picked up an extra small forward, getting another midfielder to go with their rock-solid midfield. And at the moment, they probably seem like the strongest, most consistent performer across the season. When you break down a season that's had everyone had a real blemish. So, what a win.
Good team effort.
Huge win. Yeah,
Chris Fagan reckons the ferocity of the Giants, they just got him the game, mate. That was the difference. The ferocity for the footy and just all around the park, mate. So they ended up just coming back doing that, mate. And so what? Hogan kicked 3 goals, so he's sitting on top of the tally for the Coleman, isn't he?
Got it done now. I'm going to check the odds for everyone out there tonight just to give you a heads up. But last week I gave you a heads up. I think it was $1.80, $1.70 to 2.10 Kerno to Hogan. But at the moment, you'd have to just be... That's all over.
Yeah, well, also because Kerno's injured too. So he's hurt his ankle. Could be out for 1 or 2.
Waterman? Waterman was hanging around, but...
Yeah.
But no, so what a win. That was... Steelo, you must have been a bit crushed there, mate.
Steeler's not paying attention. He is tapped out. He is not involved or interested in this conversation whatsoever.
I was going to say, just with the Lions, mate, they're just too wasteful in front of goal, mate. Just, as you can see on the scorecard there. But I was just going to just give a bit of a shout out to good old, he's a young bloke, Levi Ashcroft. He's, during the week, he's gone out and said he's going to pick the father-son rule instead of go through the draft. So that's Will's brother. And he actually ended up playing. He went out and actually played his first VFL game on the weekend and absolutely dominated. He got 35 disposals, 11 clearances and a goal. So, Steelo, the future's looking even more brighter there, mate. So, another gun coming through the system, ready to rock and roll.
I'm stoked about that. Hopefully it's a similar situation with the Dacos brothers where the younger brother's the better one as well.
Oh, mate. Wow.
And not like with the King situation? King's situation's reversed, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think Ben might be younger.
Aren't they identical twins?
Who's older, Reeby?
Aren't they twin,
one comes first.
Yeah, but
one's got to come first, mate.
Well, I don't know who's actually older, but
I don't think they came out holding hands.
They could be born on a different day, like 1 hour between.
Who's older out of you and your brother?
Could be 11:59 and then 12:01.
My brother's older by 36 minutes, mate.
Oh,
there you
bad
go.
luck. You lost that race, didn't you?
Sure did. I didn't want to get out.
Just to give everyone a heads up out there, the Coleman race is actually not on. It's been suspended from betting on AFL, so there's no Coleman betting at the moment.
Yeah,
So I
just
think
Kerno,
the
mate.
AFL, their arseholes have shrunk that hard after the weekend that Hogan's just unbackable when they've gone, let's just shut the whole thing down because he's probably just going to dominate the next 2 weeks and that's it. It's all over. Hogan will probably win the Coleman medal this year. So you've heard it here.
So do you have any, Nathan? Did you have any bests come out of the game, mate, Nathan?
Well, you said Ashcroft, and yeah, he was the standout. His brother.
His brother played VFL, bro.
Sorry?
His brother played VFL, his first VFL game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I'm saying his brother. Like, he played a good game.
Will played good, mate, yeah.
Come on. Sorry, I took a roundabout way of saying it. But yeah, no, Hogan kicking 3, go former D alumni. Yeah, Tom Green, a lot of disposals as well. But Hogan, like 10 contested possessions. That's really good. Jesus Christ.
He's really lighting it up.
Rick's Ruffy with Whitfield. Lockie Whitfield got in the best again, probably close to it as well.
Yeah, I was going to say he continues his streak as well, Whitfield. Another game over 28 touches, is it?
Beautiful.
No, 25.
Oh, yeah, well, I think he got 28 this week.
Could well be a
something
big
like that.
final this matchup, though,
25.
Brizzy versus Giants. So Brizzy would have had a good look at him.
25.
You know, they
25
didn't-
touches
Oh, there
with
you
Field.
go. Continues the streak.
I think Brizzy still played pretty well. I mean, they've kicked 16 behinds on the day as well, don't forget. So, you know, I think Brizzy didn't disgrace themselves at all in the contest. You know, they're winning their own ball. They're still probably quite a 50-50 game, if you really break it down a bit.
Oh, it
But,
was close.
Giants-
Up in that last quarter, it was close.
Yeah, so no, it was a good game. It was a high-quality game of footy as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
You know, Brizzy moved the ball well, and Giants were moving the ball super well. It was super clean. Hallie, you know, he's so effective with the footy. So, you know, a couple of teams that are really going to feature right up into the prelims, I reckon.
Yeah. I see them
Hey,
doing well.
Steelo, did you see the Giants banner over the weekend?
No, I didn't take note. What was it? Was it
Oh,
something funny?
the Giants have always been. They've always tried to be a bit sneaky and cheeky with the Giants media, right? On the banner, this week, they said 9 in a row. That's beast mode. Do us a favour and turn down Country Road.
Oh,
That's gold.
Oof.
jeez. And then they beat
turned
us
it
as
off.
well. They backed it up.
I was going to ask you another question, Steelo. Do you reckon the Lions should bloody change their playlist every 12 to 24 months, mate, with the music or what?
100%. I think some of the players change it up, but yeah, they must just really like those songs. Like they chose their favourite songs or whatever, and yeah,
Or just
it should be
rotate a
forced.
few players
Nothing
into
to mix it
defence through the forward line so you can get a few different blokes kicking some goals.
They need to get some WAP blasting after every goal.
Oh, wouldn't that
what
be
it'd be, some WAP.
fantastic?
Some WAP all
It's
over.
probably one of my top 5 most hated songs of all time.
It's a little incentive though. to go to the-
Danaher's
go to
got
the line.
frozen, doesn't he?
Well, look, with that mention of WAP, we shall change subject and move on to the next game. It is North Melbourne versus West Coast, Saturday football at the Bluntstone Arena. North Melbourne, 14-13-97. West Coast, 15-12, 102. West Coast by 5 points in one of many close games this week. Wheels.
Yeah, I was watching this game on the phone, just in and out the scores. I can't remember what I was doing. This was Saturday during the day, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I was watching it, and I remember looking. Oh, what was it? I was a couple of minutes ago the game, and North were leading, and I'm like, oh, sweet, North have got this in the bag, getting the tip. And then it was actually you, Nathan, that told me that bloody Eagles won. I couldn't believe it. So,
Unbelievable.
oh my God, are you serious? But yeah, so a good win for the Eagles over in Tassie, and Reby, aren't they bloody playing well for Schofield, mate, at the moment? The Eagles.
Oh, look, you know, I used to have a soft spot for both these teams, and, you know, they didn't let it down for a quality game of footy, did they? It was,
No.
Oh, what a ripper game down in front of about only, 15,000 down at Blunston Arena there. And, yeah, I mean, Harley Reid, too, just see his specky.
Oh, mate, he went up there, mate. He went up there.
I jumped when I saw that. I went, oh! Just got so excited. And, I thought, what a just a mark of a player to take a mark like that. That proves you just footy now is just
Yeah.
through the roof. And
he could get mark and goal of the year the way he's going.
Maybe.
That'd be funny. But even just
But
to get
hey,
a
he didn't
nomination,
have-
mark of the week.
Outside of that mark, he didn't really have too much of a
he
outstanding
was
performance in the game.
He was starting fights everywhere though too. It's bloody hot spots everywhere.
Got a hot streak, and how's some of his celebrations too, with his high fiving and his backhand and his ching ching
Yeah,
ching
mate.
ching and his.
It ended up being so.
Shuckers.
Go back to I didn't know who won till Nathan told me, but it was what was it? It was Oscar Allen kicked the last goal to win the game with 18 seconds to go or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was such a insane comeback in that last 5 minutes. Just West Coast bang 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 bang, just to snatch it. So yeah,
Incredible, man. So that in a quarter, like I think I looked into it, you'll be able to see there on the scorecard. In a quarter and a half, they end up kicking 12 goals or something. The Eagles, is that right?
yeah, 12. No.
About a quarter and a half of footy.
Oh
They
yeah,
kicked about
yeah,
12
quarter and a
goals.
half. Yeah. That's no. In a half, they
Whoa.
kicked 12 goals.
Oh, I thought someone said. I thought I've read somewhere.
Oh yeah. Sorry, hang on. Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, they kicked 12 goals in a half, but it was like halfway through this third quarter. My apologies.
Yeah. Wow. That's an effort. And our mate, your mate Sherry Reeby, buddy, still doing a great job in the ruck, mate. There's a bit of talk.
Oh, look,
AA.
I picked up on him from the start of the year. He's been my man. And hasn't he just gone from leap to leap this year, this fella? I mean, his ground contested ball is just like a midfielder. But he's getting the tap outs as well, and he's just doing it all, Sherry. So I'm just super excited watching him. And North, to me, they've got a spine. They've got the players in all the positions that you want now. And, now they just need a lot of chip-ins. And, there's something about North next year. I reckon they can really push towards a sort of 8 to 10 win season pretty soon, I reckon. So,
At least with this game, mate, where, the Eagles have gone out to bloody win it, and all the talk you hear about these three bottom sides not winning and losing. At least, it was a good contest, and it just showed, the win's more important than the draft pick, isn't it, really?
Well, that's it.
Yeah, well, look, exciting game, loving it. Just another one in the list this week, but yeah. Go Eagles.
And Mickey and Rick have a bet going on, I believe, about the Eagles and North on who'd finish better in the season. So we need to chase up on those two on that bet, please, guys.
We will. All right, well, with that, we'll move on to the next game. Oof. Saturday afternoon football at Optus Stadium. It was Fremantle versus Geelong. Flagmantle, 9-8-62. Geelong, 10-13-73. Geelong by 11 points. Wheels, this one would have made you happy.
Hold on, I forgot. Boys, I'm still celebrating. Let's get a kitty.
There we go.
I was actually wondering, before you mentioned the game, I'm like, oh shit, Reeby's pissed off. He's meant to do the next game, but I realise it's Cats and Freo. So.
If it's Cats Freo, I'm going to throw it to you.
That's it, mate. That's it. First thing, the old Dockers, mate. They had the old 90 Guernsey happening, mate. They looked alright, the old 90s Guernsey. And boy, didn't they start like they were back in the 90s too there. So the Cats came out, but he smashed them at the start, got the first 3 or 4 goals of the game. And then it was a bit of an arm wrestle through the rest of it. But yeah, so you had a few ins and outs for the game though, with Alex Pearce with his arm, and then Tracy was laid out, and so was Aish. And then I'm like, ooh, this is going to be a tough game. But we had DeConing out too, our backman. So I'm like, well, how's this going to go? This is tough. And then Sean Darcy for the Dockers too was laid out. So There's a few people missing from each side, so it's a bit hard to gauge on how the game was actually going to go, really. But yeah, didn't the boys stand out for good old Jeremy Cameron's 250? Great game for Jezza. 250 for the great man. I've personally had a drink with the guy at the pub, so that's great for him. And yeah, and then you had throughout the game, buddy, good old Dangerfield and Fifey were butting heads against each other too most of the game, and so the two old bulls there, man, it was good to see. And I think Dangerfield got the chocolates in the end, mate, especially with that dominant last quarter of his. So
yeah, he's doing real well,
mate. Go the Caddies, and yeah, I think after that we'll sit in second, and now we're still bloody sitting just fourth on the ladder. So we're just purring away.
You're in the eight. You're in the eight. You're not going to leave now. I just don't see it.
Oh, you never know, mate. You never know. But it's just good win. And you know, me and Fabs were chatting through the game, mate, and we're both pretty alright with each other. So
good. I'm glad no friendships are ended.
No, I know. We'll be right unless it's the final. But yeah, there was a stage there during the third quarter. The Cats, you know, were almost kicking themselves out of the game. At one stage, they were 1-7. So there's been a few games where there's been a lot of inaccuracy going on. But by the end, mate, it was little mate late. He's a mature age recruit. End up from Werribee last year's granny, and he kicked a nice goal to seal the game for the Caddies late on the weekend, mate. So he's done that a couple of times now. Good pickup for the Cats.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned, mate, Dangerfield in that last quarter, unbelievable. You wouldn't really see him on the stat sheet. I think he only had 20 touches, but 11 clearances and a goal. But he was the difference, mate. So the skipper stood up when we needed, mate. So what do you boys reckon? Did you get an eye on it?
Oh, I loved this game because I knew that you tipped Fremantle. And I know that a lot of people tipped Fremantle, including Mr. Daniel Big Daddy Raby. And I was like, no, I'm a good friend to Ryan, the Big Wheel Fenton. We're such good friends that I believe in his team when he doesn't. You know, I was there for them. I was supporting them wholeheartedly. Ryan,
absolutely
different story. But, you know, just so you know, I backed him. It was a great choice. It worked out really well. And yeah, that's what I have to say. Yeah. It's very satisfying.
This is what's
going on there, Reeves?
You need to not let the cat control your life, Daniel.
The cat heard us talking about the Cats and wanted to come up and go, yeah, what a win.
Great timing.
I know, she literally just came out and jumped up.
Yeah, that looks like what the cat was doing. Yeah,
and you haven't got the Dockers played out. I've noticed too, Reeby.
No, the plates are tucked away. Yes, it didn't even. They were a little dirty. I didn't want to get the sausage roll mince off them and the sauce stains off them, but I'll leave them away. But I honestly got myself in such a wish-wash that I watched the game thinking I'd tipped Geelong, and was very happy with the result until I looked at the app and realised didn't. I tipped Freo. So I was so undecided on that game. It bugged me.
You just went with the favourite. Yeah.
Oh no! So I tipped Freo, and then I was so undecided. And then I thought, I was that undecided that I thought I'd fallen on Geelong. Watched the game thinking I'd fallen on Geelong.
Yeah, you're more excited than normal.
Yeah, so I thought I was being like Nathan there, very excited to get the tip, until I checked and I went, oh shit, I actually tipped bloody Freo. So yeah, it was such a 50-50 game, wasn't it? And hats off to the Cats, though. I mean, and Jeremy Cameron on his 250th. I mean, what a big win for the season. And I reckon Geelong is probably like the Collingwood in last season this year. They've got the experience, they've got handfuls of premiership players in their side, and there's no reason why, if they go on a bit of a run, Tom Hawkins can't retire as a premiership player like his great mate Joel Selwood. So let's keep riding the gravy train, Geelong, and you know they're eyeing it off. So look, they're going hard for it now. It's all in. You know, they're not trying to just finish up and get through to next year or any of that. It's all in for the flag for Geelong. So, you know, I think they'll have a good tilt. They're very mature list who know a game style and they're good at playing to it. And they got Jeremy Cameron and they got good defence and they got guys like Tom Stewart in there. So, yeah, they're a genuine tilt, I think. I think
it's interesting Yeah, oh, sorry, mate, keep going.
Oh, no, they're right there to have a tilt, aren't they? I was really wrapping it up, but I was...
I was going to say, it's interesting how the ebbs and flows have gone both for the Giants and the Cats. Like, both sides dominated the start of the year. Both sides went on a big slump in the middle of the year, and now they're both rising again. So it's a bit interesting how those two sides have gone with their form, and now you got, sitting third and fourth. So pretty interesting how that's all worked out, really. But
and
I was just looking at those. Yeah,
that helps, doesn't it? Where you Essendon, Port Adelaide, and all these other teams, they've sort of thrown the baby out with the bathwater a bit through their bad patch. Where if you just realise that you just got to stick in it.
Yep.
So yeah, now they've done really well.
Just looking at the fantasy points there, and actually it was actually Freo that pretty much collected up. So Luke Ryan, Clark, Sharp, and Sharong all got top forward players for their fantasy points. But yeah,
so wrong or so right.
Oh, it's so wrong, it's so right, mate. It's so wrong, it's so right. But yeah, good performance, Cats, and fingers crossed for the next couple of weeks, Nathan.
Absolutely.
And as they say, you do well in tips when your team does well.
You say that, and it's not true.
Well, it's not true for Wheels.
It's not true for you.
The great man never tips his own team.
No, that's not good either.
It's not his
I think it's going good.
He's got different mottos. It's just
all right. Well, with that, let's move on to the next match. It is Essendon versus Gold Coast at Marvel Stadium. Essendon 12-14-86. Gold Coast 13-9-87. Gold Coast by 1 point. Daniel.
I was so hoping you'd throw to me over this game. I mean, one of my good friends, Julian, hopefully is still listening to the pod this far in. And I don't want to say I told you so at the start of the year, but I mean, Jesus, hasn't this train just derailed harder than the bloody train that Ned Kelly got shot down on, and they derailed the train all those years back? And
the Ned Kelly train rail, yep.
Oh, it's almost similar. It's just so similar. Almost. It's like flying on top of the world, having fun, thinking you're going to do all this stuff, and then all of a sudden you get shot down and you get derailed and you're not even in the 8. So, it's fun to watch from the outer. I'm sure it's not so fun to watch from the inner, because Gold Coast, I mean, they couldn't win away if their bloody life depended on it. I mean, I'm staggered. I'm still staggered, but
they broke it. They broke the seal.
What's that? So that's the first win away, isn't it, boys?
That's it.
It was, and it took Essendon to play at their Fandangle home ground, Marvel Stadium, that they can't seem to win it. Well, they win there, but, you take them to the G and they beat Freo, who are in the 8. But so, look, I'm just very baffled, and I'm like all the Essendon supporters this week. I'm booking tickets to Europe during September now. I'm going to the UK. My footy just fell down off the couch behind me. He's going out the door. I mean, it's just done. It's done.
Unbelievable, isn't it? It just happens too often with Essendon, mate. They just fall off a cliff, don't they? Like. A
lot of negative connotation in the last few weeks. There's a lot of negative connotation in the last few weeks, which probably hasn't helped. Because like we said with Geelong and Giants, they've just stuck fat for a little bit and then kept playing footy. And here they are. Essendon, when they had a few bad performances a handful of weeks ago, they started throwing it out with the bathwater then. So, it just feels like they haven't helped themselves. And now, you watch the crowd this week, though, half of them will show up. It's just going to be, how do we lose this one? And it's just going to be negative attitude. And so, look, I think it's a little bit far gone this year now. And, if Saints can take anything positive out of the year, it'll just be enjoying watching Bombers not excel while we're not in the 8. So another year, let's add another 365 days to the count.
I think a bit of frustrations getting out to the Essendon players, mate. Even they had a big scuffle at half-time with the Suns players, but he ended up being about $42,000 worth of fines pulled out there. So
exactly. And if I can pick on one person again, I mean, Draper, he goes and jumps in the middle of it, which ends up kicking it off with the big fella from Gold Coast, who gets in trouble for the little shirt punch. But in the end of the game, you know who let him down the most there was Draper, because he wasn't behind the ball when they had that contest, and Gold Coast ended up taking the mark and winning the game when he was in the area. And you go and be cheeky, and you go and push and shove and have a laugh, but yet you're not there to win the game for your team. And I think these are the moments when, they stick out a bit when you break down the season. So it's going to really hurt the Bombers here. But
you say that about looking out for your teammates and that, and I noticed a moment in the last quarter there where Jakey Stringer could have sealed the game and had a chance to either pass it to Merritt and just chose to go the haymaker and not the team effort, and then it's rebounded back, and Big Mac Daddy Cool ends up marking the ball, and
himself, that was the man.
Big Mac with cheese, and after the siren, Bob's your uncle. Well done, Sunners.
That's off to the fella too. He's played a good game. He kicked 4 in the end, and he lost his cool at halftime there. You saw him. The boys pulled him in and said, "Just chill out," and he was really upset and frustrated. And he's ended up coming up, and he's really cooled himself down again and played a big second half. So it takes a lot of temperament. So Gold Coast, they're no mug side, are they? And you still got to beat them on the day. And a lot of sides have done that this year in close games. Saints got them by a couple of points. I know there's been a lot of close games with them. So,
Matty Rao brought his beach towel, mate. Matty Rao brought his beach towel that game, mate. Played a ripper.
Yeah, ripped it up.
Mate, he more than bought his beach towel.
I made to go and buy a beach towel as well at the same time.
He bought his gazebo.
Yeah, it doesn't help, Nathan. It doesn't help when it's a tight game, and the Sunners kicked 2-0 in the last quarter, and what an Essendon kick, buddy, 1-9 in the last quarter, mate. Like that's just
it's rough.
Another game was
rough.
Another team kicked themselves out of it again.
Yeah. It was insane. Really, they should have gotten any one of those, but oh well. Too bad.
1-9.
So sad.
That's bad game for the Bombers. They honestly probably should have won too. So yeah.
Unbelievable, mate. Merritt's played another good game too. He's bloody had such a great year, Merritt.
I'm really liking him for the Brownlow. I reckon he probably snags the 3 on the weekend, minimum of 2. So all year he's been right up there, and he's got to be right up in the top 3 or 4. Oh,
he's a smoky, mate.
Hey, more than a smoky.
He's a smoky.
He's a smoky.
He's like a dead certainty.
This guy. He's about to put money down on it.
Just a shout. We like to
$7. There you go.
Oh, is that the Brownlow? $7?
So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. He's 6th on the list too. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, he's dominating, mate.
You've got Cripps, Dacos, Neil, Bontempelli, Sarong, Surright, Merritt after Sarong.
Oh, what a year.
But it goes from Merritt at $7, so you got all those blokes in single figures, to Law at $26. Warner 41. Golden.
Yeah, Merritt's been carrying his team, mate, for the last 6 weeks, trying to get him over the line. Just a shout out too, mate. We like to shout out the nomination for the Rising Star each week, and good old Nate Caddy, mate, Rising Star nomination for this week. He's been up forward for the Dons, mate, trying to bag some goals, and he's been recognised this week for the Rising Star. Good on him.
Good for him. Yeah.
Upwards and forwards for the Bombers, they say.
That's what they say. They've said it a lot.
Yep.
All right.
The Essendon Edge.
All right. The Essendon Edge didn't work out for him this year, unfortunately. But hey, we'll see. They might, by a chance, make the 8 somehow. We'll see.
Let's hope not, for their sake.
All right, moving on to the next game. Sunday football at the MCG. It's Carlton versus Hawthorn. Carlton 5-8-38. Hawthorn 16-16, 112. Hawthorn by 74 points. Reeby.
Hold on. Reeby. I think you need to do the next shout out for the game for Nathan, mate.
Oh, look, I think I've got a good story for this game. I managed to go up to the Monster Trucks on Sunday for Jai's birthday there, and Mum just decided to go. She goes, I'm going to get the train with you and go to the footy, because Hawks are playing at the G next to Rod Laver.
Stop. You've missed a game. You've missed a game.
Hey, we'll get back to that one.
Oh, we'll do that last, will we?
So didn't Melinda have a good old day in the MCG? But the pickle to it was when we rocked up, it's a sellout. So she can't rock up and just buy a ticket.
Oh, sugar.
So what does a good old Reeby do when they're just winging it? They just scalp a ticket at the front door for $20. that gets you into the MCC level 2. So there she was, sitting in level 2 of the MCC with her $20 ticket, enjoying watching Hawthorn just pile them on against the Blues. And
it really did.
Didn't they just make a mockery of Carlton on the day? I mean, Carlton, let's give them some credit. They've copped a lot of injuries in the last 2 to 3 weeks combined.
Yeah.
I mean, they bring in Jack Martin on the night and he gets injured, and you got Perno going down, and you just got injuries coming out their absolute backside, Carlton.
You call it a wazoo.
So I'll give them an inch of credit, just a bit of hold off, because their footy early in the year was electric. And I feel like they might have probably matched it with Hawthorn if they were playing their footy early in the year, but at the moment, they're a shell of themselves, and I really feel like West Coast are probably going to challenge them this week. They finished with St Kilda, who we all know are going to be rock hard to beat. Carlton, a dead set chance to not make the 8 this year. I mean, we just didn't see this coming, did we, guys? And, I mean, you start going through the game and you just look at some of the performers, and you got Kennedy and Newman having big games for the Blues, and you just got no one else behind them. I mean, Cripps, even himself on the night, just did nothing. And Perno, I mean, shout out to Atomic Shadows for a second. His Super Coach semi-final had a win because the opposition had Kerno, who went down with 0 points, 15 actually. But so yeah, if Dave wins, he might get through to a grand final there. But it just Carlton falling apart, and that's where I'm just they couldn't get a kick in a stable at the moment, Carlton. So I just don't know where to go further than that.
You just wanted to use that line. You just.
But they couldn't. I mean, they'd missed the horse.
No, not in the stable.
The horse would be lining them up, and somehow the horse would miss them.
Absolutely.
No,
I get you.
How good's young Deer been for the Hawks, mate? He's been great.
Yeah, different stable, but
different stable. Stick on the stable, mate.
You don't want to get those deers too close to the horses, but and Moore as well. I mean, how good's Moore going for Hawthorn there? And a few of my other favourites on the day, Sicily, and I'm starting to really see a bit of daylight between Hawthorn and a handful.
And they reckon Steelo's mate Jack Gunston might go around again for the Hawkers, mate, because all of a sudden he's in this nice winning culture. He wants to bloody sign on again.
One more Gunston. Yeah, that'd be handy. And I'm sure old man Ray from Bowie back in the day was at the game on the night, just enjoying himself, old Ray. And
yep.
Yeah, and good to see Luke Bruce to snag 2 goals on the day. And geez, they don't have many non-contributors, do they? When you go down to Will Day got subbed off and still had 12 touches. He's probably one of their weaker performers on the day. Don't know why he got subbed off.
Do we give an applause for the Hawks to bloody finally be in the 8? Are we giving a bit of an applause or what?
And you know what? I would like all of you to acknowledge that I was right when I said Hawks will make the 8. What?
Absolutely.
About 5 weeks ago?
2 weeks. Well, it's good.
Yep, I reckon. You've been on it the whole time, definitely. Definitely.
We'll bring up some of your other predictions, and we'll see how right they've been.
All right. Well, here's another prediction for you. Carlton will make the 8.
So you just ruined your Hawthorn one.
Carlton will make the 8.
Well, they're currently outside, and you know what they say the hardest thing is to do in the last 2 weeks of the year is to get into the 8.
Yeah, well, they're coming up against West Coast and St Kilda. An easier 2 matches run home I could not think of.
Okay, Nathan, let's just go over a random question. Give me 2 teams that won last week. West Coast and St Kilda. Give me 1 team that lost last week. Oh, Carlton. Wow, bang, trivia, done.
What are you talking about? I'm saying Carlton coming up against West Coast and St Kilda in the next 2 weeks.
Yep, and I can't wait to watch both those games. I've already committed to tipping West Coast this week, and I'm sure I'll be tipping St Kilda next week. So.
Good. I'm glad. I'll catch 2 up on you. That's good.
I was just going to say, Reeves, back to the Hawks game, mate. How easily did they just keep running out of their defense 50, mate, and this open 50 when they were bombing it in, mate? They just ran hard all day against the Blue Baggers, mate. They just totally controlled it.
It was endless.
Sammy Mitchell. They reckon Sammy Mitchell's quite a sort of strict sort of bloke, but he knows what he wants. And geez, aren't the young crew playing for him at the moment? Bloody hell.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a different. You can see the game style difference, and at the moment, there's only a couple of teams that you probably, if you get injured like Carlton and that, you can maybe still bog the game down a bit. Like against Melbourne, I dare say Carlton could really bog it down. You know, it would become a low-scoring scrub. Hawthorn aren't that sort of team, and you've got to keep running and gunning. You just got to keep running and gunning, and Carlton just couldn't keep running and gunning with them. So, you know, the game style went that way on the day where, you know, against maybe a couple other teams, you know, you could swing it and get defensive and really tie it down and lose by only a couple of goals. So, yeah, geez, it was a real message, though, to the comp, and that's where I just feel like Carlton are limping now. And with these, I mean, they're going to have between 6 to 8 of their pretty much their best team not on the park in the next couple of weeks, and that hurts a lot of teams, and that's why I feel like they are vulnerable for the taking now. With add a bit of bad confidence to that, and a lot of your top players out,
and with those injuries, with those injuries they've got, they can't actually give a proper timeline for half of them too. So
and they've got it. Curnow, he shouldn't have played this week. I mean, I remember mentioning that he was probably vulnerable to getting picked this week, last week, but they went with him and they probably gave him injections and they got him up. But it feels like now they were just pushing time in saying they probably should have been giving time, but they were trying to play for the now. And yeah, these are the hard moments in the footy season, aren't they? When so it's all coming crashing down for Carlton just at a bad time.
Yeah.
Anyway, Reeb, I think you can be a host for a minute, can't you now?
No, so yeah, I just want to say, Carlton, 6 marks inside 50 for the whole game.
Shocking, mate.
That is insane. 6 marks.
And Mackay out now as well. So, you
Less
know,
than
and he
2
played through.
And they've already got the Koning out, they got Savani out, they got bloody the backman out, a couple of backmen. It's like, yeah, struggle time, mate. Struggle time for the Blues.
No,
unbelievable.
Exactly. All right, moving on to the next game. It's Richmond versus St Kilda at Marvel Stadium. Richmond 7-9-51. St Kilda 15-9-99. St Kilda by 48 points. Daniel.
Oh, look, I mean, I was watching this game, but I actually had to do a quick recap of the Melbourne Port Adelaide game. I was about to watch this game live.
What?
And then on the other channel, the mini.
Yeah, it's the same time. It's the same time as the Sun Essendon game.
And the mini Port Adelaide, the mini version of the Port. So I quickly watched that. I just gave it a quick samosa. Jeez, it was a defensive game, that Melbourne Port Adelaide game. Port did well, though, to get through and get the points, but geez, Melbourne gave him a scare, and like I said about tactics in the game.
All right, I'll read out the scores. It was Saturday night football at the MCG. It was Melbourne versus Port Adelaide. Melbourne 7-9-51. Port Adelaide 7-11-53. Port Adelaide by 2 points. Go fuck yourselves.
Okay, so anyway, so the Saints rocked up at Marvel on Sunday, and, you know, they really just, you know, they made a point of making sure they got this win. You know, they thought, we got a team here that are on the ropes, they're bottom of the ladder, we know we're not that bad, we got to build from this, and it got a bit close there in the third quarter again, I must admit. It got back to 7 points, but, you know, after we settled, we put the foot down and we've just moved the ball well, clinically, and we proved that we're going to have a lot of pace coming through the midfield in the next few years. Because we opened them up in that second half there, and Miller and Butler and Higgins and all these guys just getting out into space and just moving fast. And Owens, a big shout out to Owens. And
I didn't actually know you were talking about Saints.
Well, I
didn't know you were talking about Saints now. I thought you were going to talk about Tees and Port still.
No, I just touched on it, but now we've lost him.
Can I just touch on it quickly too, mate? Can I just say a couple of things of the Port Melbourne game? Sorry, mate. I thought you were still talking about it.
It was that ugly of a game. I didn't want to talk about it myself.
No, just quick. I'll just say a couple of things, mate. Quick shout out to Kenny Hinkley, mate. Player coach 400 games. Well done, Hinkers. And there's basically just Horn Francis and the midfield dominated that game, mate. That's basically it for that one. And, yeah, pretty much D's are cooked. So get back to your other game now.
Fuck you.
Yes, but So then, I mean, the St Kilda supporters were extremely excited after the game to win the Maddie Vision Cup as well, and it means a lot to the club to restore these little cups, and we're able to just show that we can flex a bit of muscle here, and all these youngsters at the moment for the Saints, I mean, they're fighting hard for their spots, and a big shout out to guys like Mason Wood and Wilkie and Mitch Owens. I mean, these guys are the bloodline of the future, and also Cooper Sharman. He's just constantly standing up, and another big shout out as well to the big fella Rowan Marshall. I mean, he's just one of Jai's favourites, and isn't he a superstar?
Superstar.
Superstar.
Yeah, great win. Well, seriously, I know Richmond's bottom of the barrel, but still a great win for the Saints, man. They got people out, they got injuries and things all happening as well. So
where we actually went? So we took Jai for his first session at the Cricketers Arms.
Well, yep.
Because we went up to the monster trucks. Mum went into the footy at the G, and we were going back to the station, and we thought, we could watch a quarter and have a sneaky beer somewhere. So everyone followed D. Reeby, because I was the captain. I was like, all right, follow me. I know where there's a place. And I led us all into the Cricketers Arms. I contemplated going to the Royal, but I thought we better not with a 4-year-old, so we just went to the Cricketers Arms. But out in the backyard there with the garden, beautiful. Hadn't been out there for years, and it was it was really nice sitting out the back there in the sunshine, watching the Hawks pile on another plethora goal, and watched the Saints get off to a good start, and then we got on the train and we went home.
No worries. Hey, do you know what award gets awarded at the end of that game too with the Saints Tigers, mate?
The Maddie's Vision.
Couldn't care less.
No, at the end, they give a best on ground, and it's actually the Ian Stewart Award.
It is too.
So actually,
isn't it Lan Stewart?
No, Ian, isn't it?
I thought it was Lan.
Oh, same shit, isn't it? Anyway,
an I or an Al?
Same shit.
Al.
Oh, so it's Lan.
No, on Ian Stewart.
Oh, so it's I.
Yeah, I. It's an I. Yeah, it's an I.
Yes.
Was he thinking you're saying Liam?
No, Lan.
I think he said Lan.
I always thought the I looked like an L. I always thought his name was Lan Stewart.
He clearly said
Ian
Ian.
Stewart.
I don't know.
But yeah, shout out to this guy's got a bit of talk saying he might leave the club at the end of the year too and come to the Gold Coast. But good old Rioli got the Ian Stewart Award, mate. He 37 disposals, 10 marks, and 689 metres gained on the night too. So he played well for the Tigers. So
fair enough. Well,
he did. He killed it.
Saints comfortably beat the worst team in the comp. Good on them.
They're interesting though. Some of their top end talent is very good. I mean, Bolton and Rioli and
Baker.
Yeah, Baker
and don't forget they got bloody Hopper and bloody Taranto from the Giants too.
They've got a lot of these guys on the trade table too to go for picks, and it's interesting to see how many you throw out when they're the ones on the weekend who are able to kick your goals and take your marks. So, geez, where will it leave them? But
no, well, fair enough. Well, yeah. Who cares?
Richmond
it is. Sorry, I'm very apathetic. It's St Kilda and Richmond, and I don't like Richmond. And yeah, anyway.
Hey, mate, we're going on a hat trick of wins to finish the year.
Oh, look, good for you. Thank you. All right. I'm just unhappy with how Melbourne is. I'm just bitter against all the teams.
We're only one win behind you guys too. Just to let you know.
If the Saints win the next two, how far off would they have been for being in the 8?
Oh, probably still a win.
Still a fair bit. I'd say still a fair bit. But
probably closer to Melbourne though.
All right, let's. Yeah, if we don't win the next two, if we lose the next two, yeah, sure. But anyway,
who's going to finish higher out of the Saints and the D's?
Oh, probably the D's. Because we're probably all going to lose all 4 of our matches. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. Sunday afternoon football at Adelaide Oval. It is Adelaide versus the Doggies. Adelaide 17-9, 111. The Western Bulldogs 9-18, 72. Adelaide Crows by 39 points in what some would say an upset, but I saw this one coming. How about you, Wills?
Yeah, I saw it coming.
Isn't that a flogging in your books, Nathan?
Sorry?
I chose bloody
flogging in your books.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, it is. What is it? What was it?
Over 36.
Yeah. Bloody, yeah, you wouldn't have thought of that higher score, though, would you, really? Like, bloody hell.
Would have been more, too. Shit.
It is surprising. Well, doggies were missing.
Yeah, what's
9-18 points? Jesus.
9-18. Unbelievable. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
But,
They just could not kick a goal. They kick so many bad points.
Yeah. But then again, also, Adelaide, 8 goals, like, they thumped them, so...
They did.
Yeah, Fogarty kicked 5 goals too, mate. He was a bit of a standout for the Crows, wasn't he? He had to stand up too because our mate, good old Tex Walker, copped a nice poke in the eye, didn't he? And
was it?
Yeah, bad one, man. He's actually had to go straight into surgery, and they reckon he's pretty much done for 1-2 weeks. So that could be the end of him, mate. That could be the end of the Walker at the Crows. So,
his career?
Well, they don't know. There's talks about him. They don't know where he will play next year. So.
Yeah, he's 34. That's getting up there. It's getting up there.
Oh yeah, mate. Yep. So, and you never know. Like someone like the D's could pick him up just for a year or two and help their forward line out.
Okay.
So,
I guess.
You'd take him, wouldn't you, Reeb? Still.
Oh, you'd have him for free, but
for free. Yeah, that's how it works.
Get Tim Tans.
He just wants to go live in Moorabbin for a while and just play at the local team.
What is it? Oh, yeah, I was going to say, Nathan, I bloody tipped Crows on the pod last week and bloody changed last minute too. I was spewing.
You shouldn't have. I'm riding that gravy train.
Oh, mate. Even Rick was saying the bloody Crows are a bogey side against the Doggies too. So,
Rick's been hitting some gold lately. Rick's been hitting some gold.
I know.
But unfortunately,
what is this,
very upset with this match.
Hey, mate. It just goes with the year the bloody Dogs and the Freo are having, man. They're just so bloody hot and cold, aren't they?
They're all over the place.
They're just not consistent. They're not consistent. So, and that's, Dogs are really pushing for top 4, and that's put them back down to the bloody 7th on the ladder to down with everyone else, It's tight down there now. So,
bad
luck for the Doggies.
I tipped against both Freo and Doggies because, they're hot and cold. And they've been hot for a little bit now. So I'm like, well, the cold's coming. And I just bet on this round. Both of them and I was right. I was right, buddy. I was right.
The Dogs' backline got caught out a bit during that game too. So the Crows were obviously doing a bit of their homework with Karmas and whatnot back there. So they worked their way around that, mate. And it ended up just working for the Crows, mate. But...
they blew the doors open in the first quarter and just steadily increased their lead throughout the rest of the game. So,
what game you playing there, Reebs?
I am trying to work out how to use a smart TV. I mean,
you should not be doing that during a fucking podcast. What the fuck?
You know when you just have a TV, right, and you turn it on and whatever's on's on. So on this, it's like, do you want to watch this? And then you go and it goes, from the start. And you can't just put it on and just watch whatever's on.
You're the fucking worst. We're doing a podcast. What are you doing?
How's Crash Bandicoot going, mate?
I really enjoyed...
He's a schmuck.
Anyway, I really enjoyed the
let's move on to this week's tips. Alright,
Nathan, he's in the comfort of his own home now, okay, mate?
Good for him.
I thought we could just switch the TV on and use it now.
You don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what I'm doing below this level, mate. All right. I just shout out. Hold on, mate. Just for the Crows, mate. The skipper played well. Dawson too, mate. Bontempelli played well again, and Scholl for the Crows too. Good game. So there you go, Nathan. There you go.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'll move on to the tipping results this week. No. Go away.
That's it. I've got live TV on.
Stop watching TV. The fuck you doing?
What's on?
Hey,
what's on?
Carlton's form line is loss, win, loss. So they've lost 4 of their last 5 games.
Pay attention. Pay attention to the podcast you're on. Pay attention to the podcast that you're on.
It's very insightful.
Schmuck. Anyway, moving on to tipping results. Bum, 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 bum. That's the music for tipping results, alright?
Where's that been all year?
Maybe we'll workshop it. Hey, there'll be changes for next year, don't you worry.
I reckon whoever wins it should be able to do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's a good
anyway.
idea. I like that.
I don't look. No, I'm not signing off on that. I'm the arbiter of the tips. All right, let's start off with who got the highest amount of tips this week. So if you didn't put your tips in this week, you got the highest score this round.
Stuff you all.
Yep. So that was a few people.
Mac,
Oh wait, no, actually,
Rick.
no,
beat that.
I'm wrong.
Nathan, do you realise? Do you know what
got
happened?
6 this week. It was Mr.
Yeah,
Rick
Nathan.
Parker and myself.
Go Rick
Nathan.
and stuff you.
What?
I don't know if it's ESPN, but I think if you don't put your tips in and you get all the away, the max you get is 5.
Oh, that's a good term.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I read that somewhere. I can't remember where I saw it, but yeah, if you don't tip and you get them all right, you get 5's your maximum. Pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Because, yeah.
So what you're saying might be correct, but they don't give you all of them.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Haha.
Yeah,
Sucked
because seven away teams won.
in. Exactly. But me
Wow.
and Mr.
Don't you
Rick
worry about me,
Parker
mate. Don't
both
you worry
got
about me. I'm
6.
watching everything, mate.
Stop it. Stop interrupting me. Stop fucking interrupting me, mate. I'll fucking chop you.
Yeah,
Come and get you.
Fly up to the
Come and
goal.
get you.
Fucking stop it. Me and Mr. Rick Parker both got 6 out of 9 this week. Just jumping
Well
on the
done.
comp,
That's a good
on the
week to
rest of the
get
comp. Rick rising up. He could nab a few spots. Wheels, he's nabbed yours.
Oh,
No, I'm gonna have to start listening to this guy now.
Well, hey, look, don't listen too much, alright? So, let's go through our tipping results. Oh, sorry, the top 5. Vossi Star has moved into number 5 in 5th position. Congratulations, 122 tips. Good for him.
he's been tipping well. And he's been playing well too. He's been getting in the best for Frankston almost every week, consistently. And last week they played against Collingwood VFL, and he actually kicked 2 goals and was in the best, which is a
Good for him.
good performance. So, and on the weekend we were also outside the ground after Tommy, another player in the tips for us. Tommy, what's his name in the tips there?
Tolerico.
To be Tommy Mack, and I played for Richmond VFL the other day against Sandy when we were at Punt Road, just outside the ground there, and Paddy did the star spotting when he saw Justin Peckett, who he mentioned to say, oh, because there's Justin Peckett, because his son's playing in that game, who Tommy's also playing in. And I said, Paddy, you know why everyone's everywhere, don't you? And he said, yes.
Hey, Tom Mack didn't even put his tips in this week, so don't
I know
even
it.
acknowledge him. All right. Anyway.
Apparently Packett's going to get picked up for father-son too, Reeves.
Oh, there we go. Cool.
Yeah, no, Paddy mentioned he was a very good player.
Anyway, we're talking about the tipping results. So number 4 is Julian. He's in number 4th spot. Good for him. Then, followed by my mother. Number 3, 123. And then me climbing my way up to 2nd position on 124.
The weaker Norman.
And then at number 1, it's the Big Daddy Doctor. Only 3 this week, mate. You got 127. So I'm 3 behind you. I'm gonna get you.
I had a lead. I thought I could just have a casual week off. So I, just had a week off.
Yeah. Well, just want to say, Paddy and Jim Bob both got 2. So unfortunately,
Paddy has gone back-to-back 2s.
Unlucky.
That means out of 18 games, Paddy's predicted 4 winners. That's pretty bad form.
Yeah. All right. Well, also
You're better than that,
go
Paddy.
through
You're
our
better than that,
positions all up. Steelo, you are coming 16th on 110. I'm sorry, my friend.
Oh, I'm sorry too. I was that close to tipping 9 this week, but anyway.
That close. All right. And then coming in at number 10, Ryan. What's going on? 117.
Well, I was just doing my maths, right? And I'm just looking. The Cats are on 56 points. I divided that by 4. That's 14. So technically, if I tip the Cats, I'll be 14 more tips ahead. So that's what's happening, Nathan.
Yeah, you should take my motto on board for now.
So I'd rather see my team in the 8, top 3, top 4, and not be doing well on the tips.
Next year, try my motto, and your team probably won't make the 8, and it will stuff you.
Once again,
Raby's above whatever I am.
Raby goes for St Kilda, and he's winning the tips. You can't listen to him. He's leading you astray.
I should be following my mum. My mum keeps telling me to tip Hawthorn every week, and even this weekend I tipped Carlton. I'm like, and if I had, you know what the motto is? You know what my new motto should be? Is listen to your mother.
And my motto is no.
Also, too, Nathan, like I've said, mate, I'm concentrating on the NRL tips this year too, mate, alright? That's my focus.
And the EPL. The EPL stuff, that'll be big.
Try and save some face, because at this point, Rick has overtaken you. And you can't have Rick overtaken you.
That is bad. He's tipped the Cats more than me this year, that bloke.
Exactly. And of course, me number 2, Raby number 1, the hosts reign supreme.
Yeah. Back where we belong.
Absolutely. Alright, well, with that, let's move on to Wheels of Fortune.
Boys. Well.
It's a circle.
It's a circle, alright. It's a circle of no one left in the competition. That's what the circle is. The bearings have fallen off the wheel.
It never ends.
Yeah, I'll keep it rolling, but the competition's finished. But unbelievable result on the
just like absolute.
Who wins?
Wait, someone just. I'll just say it first. There was 7 people left, and not one person put a team in, mate. Unbelievable. So
I forgot.
I forgot. That's what they all said, right? So there was actually, out of everybody, there was not actually one last person standing. You would not read about it.
You got to break up the prize money and split it between us all.
No, we'll just buy a slab of bourbons and just drink up here and celebrate for all the losers.
Okay, so you and Raby are still donating $100, but you're doing it to the Goldie trip. Good. I'm there.
It, mate. We'll save the $100 each for just to have a nice time up here ourselves, I reckon. So everyone else can get stuffed. But bad luck, everyone, and you did well. You made it past halfway almost. So well done, everyone.
But whose season's over?
Well, I thought I gave it up, but we'll just say Freo, stuff them.
Yeah.
So, catch you later, Dockers. Have fun, and just like all the contestants in Wheel of Fortunes, see you in 2025.
That's it.
You reckon they're out? Jeez, yeah, no, fair enough. Doggies and Hawthorn do have momentum. So, yeah.
I feel like we have some room next year for some modification, and the modification that I might have vibed on, we can speak about this out of hours, is that maybe every week next year we all nominate a team, but we all create a ladder by doing that, so no one's out during the year, and so we start 18 weeks out, and every week you nominate one to add to your ladder, and at the end of the year we get everyone's ladder, and that's your submission.
Yeah, that could be a thing. I was speaking to Hutchie, but Hutchie actually likes the whole idea of the elimination each week too, and a few people have liked that idea. So we'll have to get a bit of a vote going. I think we need to get a bit of a vote and try and fix the wheel. I know it's not broken, but
it ain't broken.
I don't know if I like how close this new Wheels of Fortune changes is coming to the ladder predictions, which we'll be going through.
That's what I was saying to you too, Nathan. I said, it basically ends up being a ladder prediction. So I'm trying to keep away from that and tipping. So
but there's still a lot of merit in that, because I mean the amount of games that have changed motion of the ladder as we've progressed. I mean, you know what I mean? People might have had Hawthorn out a long time ago, and here they are progressing, and you'd be resenting that. So, there's still merit to the Wheels of Fortune progressing into a non-knockout system where everyone who enters would stay alive through the whole comp, adding a lot more entertainment there for
Yeah, but the thing is, no one actually got knocked out from the rules of the game. Everyone got knocked out.
I know. Yeah,
so, yeah, if you just kept putting your answers in and just, you would have probably kept going. But
You deliberately
the
did not
game,
remind us. You reminded us via group chat, and you deliberately didn't remind us this week because you didn't want to pay out.
mate, a habit should,
I'm onto you.
mate, a habit should be, a habit should be a habit by 5 weeks, mate. So,
I know what you did. Right? It's all right. I respect it. But I know what you did.
better luck next year. But sorry guys.
All right, let's move on to this week's games.
Hold on. So am I just going to just do the thing just for fun now and see how far we get, or what?
Yeah, we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna rate you at the end of the year and see how it goes.
Yeah, we need to see the teams keep coming.
Oh, mate, pressure's on.
Yeah, you can't just stop it. We need the answers. All right. Starting with Friday night football at Marvel Stadium. It is Essendon versus Sydney Swans. Jesus. Big wheel. Who you got?
Hold on, mate. I'm still doing my Wheels of Fortune stuff. So, So, what have we got? Essendon versus Sydney, is it?
Yeah, at Marvel Stadium.
Well, Reeby, doesn't this remind you of a good old plugger back in the day, but just not at the SCG?
He's busy texting. What the fuck? You're not on camera, you fool.
And I even was listening to him saying that, and in my head I was nodding, going, Jesus, that takes me back to that prelim final in 96.
Hey, Nathan wants some nachos too, mate, alright?
What, from
mate, just a quick shout out too for Dyson Heppel too, mate. He's announced his retirement today as well. So, you know what? I'm actually looking at this, and because it's at Marvel, I reckon the Dons can actually do it, mate. I'm going to tip Essendon. I feel like they're going to be very hungry. They've got a point to prove. And I still reckon the Swans aren't actually playing that good a footy. They just beat the injury pies. So I'm going to go with Essendon at the speed of the dome.
All right, Braves.
Well, I have been super committed to Sydney on this tip. I mean, I just feel like this game is going to be a bridge too far for Essendon here. And the conditions, and Sydney by a long stretch for me.
Yeah, Steelo.
Yeah, Sydney just have a few too many stars, I reckon. Just a bit more star power through the midfield, and they'll probably just get it done, I reckon.
Yeah, judging on current form, it just seems like Sydney should be winning this. Even if Sydney is playing bad form, I'd still expect them to just beat Essendon at the worst. I don't see Essendon getting up, but hey, it could be surprising, and I would welcome the surprise. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. All right, moving on. Saturday football at the People First Stadium. It is Gold Coast versus Melbourne. Wheels, do you think Melbourne can break the curse? Continue to break the curse?
Oh, mate, I'm gonna go with my same theory as last week. And if May's not playing, I'm tipping the Suns. If May plays, I'm tipping the D's. So at the moment, I'm tipping the boys and the Suns. So go the Sunners.
All right, Braves.
Yeah, again, same as the first game. I'm not giving Melbourne much hope here. I think Gold Coast are a bit of a boost from their win last week. And they're probably going to head home, and I reckon they'll really finish the year off strong here, and they'll have a solid win.
Fair enough. Steelo.
Tough. This is a tricky one.
Really?
I reckon this is a tricky one. The D's will bounce back. They're not that bad. Not as bad as everyone thinks. And, they've played a lot of games up in Queensland over the years. Like they used to sell their home games to the Lions, but once upon a time. So I think they're probably acclimatised and they enjoy the trip up to Queensland. Okay. Gold Coast probably even better for them. I don't know, it's a bit closer, and they like to get out on the town. The Melbourne lads.
It's been very wet. It's been very wet this week.
Let the demons out.
Oh well, there we go. Well,
so I think I'll get on the friend train. On the friend train for you, mate.
Lovely, bit of friend train.
You backed them, actually.
Shit. All right. Well,
I'm giving them slim chance to Pickens.
I'm going to have to jump on the Gold Coast bandwagon, unfortunately. I don't think Melbourne are going to be doing it.
I noticed
seeing a lot of sadness.
Melbourne credit
Seeing a lot of sadness coming out of the Melbourne Football Club. All this news of Christian Petracca wanting to leave. Alex Neil Bullen wants to go to SA. Petracca, gone. Doesn't want to be there anymore. What a stab to the heart. Come on, surely you guys have something you want to say to me. You want to bully me for it.
I just don't know if it's real. I just don't know what's real. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's coming out of this joint.
Did your TV tell you that he wants to leave, did he? Like, you can't, nothing, none of this means nothing. It might be him just trying to, there's a lot of speculation through what he's saying at the moment.
He'd take a deal tomorrow.
Yeah, but he loves Melbourne Petracca, so I wouldn't be reading into too much of him not wanting to be there. It'd be definitely more like some of these things get played out in the media, so you can only hear things and then yes. But like Ryan said, I wouldn't be reading too much into what you hear.
You just got to follow the tracks.
Yeah, Petracca's Melbourne through and through, so I think he might be trying to weed out some dirt or whatever he's trying to do publicly. But
is he? Because rumors, things say like he's not happy with some things, and there's other players around that are also unhappy with some things. And Neil Bullen's leaving.
What about Oliver? Is there much more news about Oliver? Not really.
Well, Oliver's had like a really sort of... He hasn't been at peak performance this year as opposed to like last year. Last year he was a gun. Yeah. Ever since this year, he's been very middling.
I think if you got the real story of Melbourne, I mean, you've got Smith's son. What's his name again?
Joel Smith.
And he,
done for the drug.
He, there's a lot to play out. I mean, a lot of people know a lot about Clayton Oliver's history, and he's still at the club. And I feel like these are the moments that Petracca's trying to air out when he talks about culture and not being happy with certain things. He's not trying to put pressure on himself leaving. These are the moments where Paul Smith's probably taken a fall, a la almost the Bancroft thing with Warner and that, where someone under the table has to take a fall for some head guys. And, these are the rumblings where there'd be a lot of discussions at Melbourne that aren't getting played out in the media, but they're real-time discussions for people's health, lives, and well-being. So, you hear snippets of it when you listen closely, and there's a lot of rumblings at Melbourne at the moment. There's a lot of... They're keeping face well, but it can... So I feel like... Oliver, they're going to keep him, but he can almost be the person that's upsetting a handful of people, and it could lead to other people wanting to leave by him staying. So, it is.
Yeah, but also we don't know.
It goes a lot further down the line than you realise, and it's interesting times to be a fly on the wall in the Melbourne rooms, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just hard to think. It's just hard to think that you wouldn't think Melbourne would be that bad of a side sitting, 13th on the ladder, potentially lower, you wouldn't even think that, like, really. But they are playing with a game style where they do rely on Max Gawn a lot, and he's only getting a bit older, so there's a few things they've got to change up. Forward line, Maxi needs some help, and just the culture, something going on with the culture, like Reeby said, there could be something there we just don't know about. So
they won't air those bits, but they, if you read between the lines, it's all there. So,
absolutely,
time heals all wounds too, they say. So, let's just see how they go. That's all we can do.
I find if you follow the tracks, you'll find
that's it. Stick with Petracca. He won't throw the baby out with the bathwater. He'll weed out the weeds.
What's Steelo saying?
Steelo said,
I said,
if you follow the tracks, you'll be gone.
No, yeah.
Dangerous times, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Well,
maybe Petracca will end up at St Kilda. That'd be a good move.
No, he wants to go to a winning team.
No, nobody wants to leave a good team to go to St Kilda. Anyway, moving on to the next game.
We passed up the pick on Petracca to pick up McCartan. So, after all this time, we could end up with him back.
Cool. Next game, GWS versus Fremantle at the NG Stadium. Wheels, who you got?
This is one of the reasons why I've tipped Freo on Wheels of Fortune, because, they're playing Giants this week and I think Port next week, but at home. But I'm just not confident with these two games for Freo, so tip of the Giants, and apparently Canigligo and Brick Brick should be back for the Giants as well. So a couple of ins for the Giants, who's just going to strengthen their side more.
Caniglio and Briggs.
Caniglio, yep.
Daniel, rebuy.
I am in raging favour of the Giants here.
Fair. Steeler.
Yeah, they impressed me against the Lions last week. Oh, it was so impressive. They just took the game from us. And, young Jones, he's a freak. So, tip the Giants comfortably.
Yeah, look.
Sorry, Fabs.
Gonna have to go GWS as well. Flagmantle. No, thank you. But, they could still get a win. Like, I wouldn't put it past them.
Absolutely.
Hot and cold, we have said that. So, we'll just see. But, hey, I'm with GWS. Got a soft spot for him. Go Hogan. Get that Coleman. All right, moving on. Next game is...
just a quick one with Hogan. Sorry, mate. He won the Rising Star, too, when he was at Melbourne, didn't he?
I think so, maybe.
Yeah, I reckon he might have. Do some research. So he might win a Rising Star and a Coleman medal.
Wow.
Exactly. Do some research.
And a premiership. And he could also win the Norm. I mean...
And play for 3 different clubs. Interesting.
There you go. All right. Well, let's move on to the next game. Saturday afternoon football at the G. Collingwood versus Brisbane. Wheels.
Yeah, doesn't this one set you back to a few grand finals, fellas? One that Steelo definitely doesn't want to talk about. So, so I'm going to... Oh, this is I reckon this is tougher than I think. Well, what's the weather going to be like in Melbourne over the weekend, boys? Do we know?
Oh, it's not meant to be fantastic. They've got they've been having very clear weather, and then they reckon the weekend there's a front hitting, so we're looking at some definitely inclement weather.
Yes. It's at the G, isn't it? I'm gonna actually tip the Pies. I reckon they're gonna try and give everything they've got this week to keep their season alive. Not saying the Lions won't, but I just feel at the MCG, if it's a cold, shitty day, and the Pies just get what what they're good at, I reckon the Pies, boys. Sorry, Steelo.
Fair enough, Reeves.
Look, I'm going all in on Brizzy here. I just think their form in the game last week still was very good. They were a bit ineffective against a very high-quality team, and I just think they'll play that brand of footy knowing that they're coming to the MCG. Grand final day in their minds from last year. A real big one for Fagan to get the team up and about here. And I just so hope that the man of steel himself, the locomotive, is there and he's vocal and he's in the front row almost of the game all night just helping the boys over the line.
Hey, look, just so you know, he's not a locomotive. He's more powerful than a locomotive.
Oh, right. So he's not even a locomotive. He's more powerful.
He's on another level.
Jesus, I didn't even realise.
Yeah,
then that will probably help them win.
Exactly.
All they needed was someone who was more powerful than a locomotive, and that's like the battery power Brizzy will need.
Yeah, you were expecting the power of a locomotive. No.
More powerful then.
I'll be there, all right. Front and centre. I'll be barging my way through the lines.
Steelo, if you go in the game, Steelo, good luck and be safe, mate.
And stay vocal.
Thank you very much. I'll barge my way through. I'm going to get to the front and get in the cheer squad and get rowdy. And, it's a grand final rematch. I'll be tipping the Lions.
This is a big one. I really think Brizzy will make a point of this one being quite important. And, Collingwood probably not where they're at, where I think Brizzy will be ready to be where they're at. And they'll really test Collingwood here.
For the most part. We've got a pretty young squad in. We saw that last week. We're still missing a few players. Not sure if we're going to get them back in time. It doesn't look like it, but maybe a couple for sure.
Maybe.
But definitely just the intensity, and like you said, we're going to really come out there and play our hearts out and treat it like a final. And back at the G, we don't get there enough. And we played there earlier in the year, I think, and won, I believe. And we just keep good things happening down in Melbourne. So we broke the hoodoo early and going to get over the line here, I think. Very tight one though. Maybe one goal, just like the grand final, but hopefully in our favour this time.
Oh.
Hopefully, keep
worst unplayed grand final ever.
All right. Well, I just want to say, I'm gonna jump on the friend train in good honour of Steelo jumping on my friend train when I didn't have the strength. So,
Oh, friend.
It's a bit sucky in that room you two are both in, I swear.
what are you trying to say? Football friend. What the fuck are you trying to say?
You got the night mood lighting going on. It's all happening in there.
Hey, you know nothing.
Steelo's jumping all over your back, pretending to do speckies.
He's hitting in the back. I'm in pain. Alright, well, yes, as I said, Brisbane. I'm going to be back in Brisbane for this one. I think they don't play too bad away. And, friend train. Alright, moving on to the next game. Saturday night football at Adelaide Oval. It is Port Adelaide versus Adelaide. The battle for the bridge. Wheels.
Yeah, mate. This is battle the bridge, all right. They've got to walk over the bridge to get to the stadium, I believe. This has actually been really tight. This clash of the late. But I'm going to go for the team with the word Adelaide in it.
It's a shit joke. Fuck you.
Oh, no. No. I'll make it short. Port.
Alright, cool. Reeves, who you got?
Oh, it's been a real baffler, hasn't it? I mean, I'm going to go for Port. Jeez. Hope not to see an upset.
Hey, well, that's it. Just Port.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Steelo, who you got?
I don't think Adelaide can do it again. They've got wavering form, but I think Port Adelaide, they just need it more. And that's been the case. They've seemed to be able to lift recently, closer to the final. So I think they'll continue.
It just worries me though that Adelaide. I mean, they're in such great form, and I feel like this is a suck-in tip. If you just go,
it is, mate. Sure,
it's hard not to tip Port though. You just
Port.
Yeah, you'd definitely not be shocked if you saw Crows winning.
Oh man, at the moment I'm like, I don't think I can bring myself to tip Crows, but I feel like I just think they're going to win. But tough game, isn't it? What a good challenge for Port coming into finals, actually, because they really probably need this. And if they do get over Adelaide, it's a genuine form win. So I think it's probably exactly what Port need right now is a big showdown.
There'll be some heat in it, and they might cop a few injuries. They won't want to.
And exactly, I must admit, they're not impressing me that much now. I mean, Dixon's going to keep getting picked here, but he's not given much towards the end of the year. And Finlayson's doing his bit. But Port's forward line, they don't look overly dangerous at the moment. Even though they did what they did to Sydney, you still feel like Port just look a bit limpy. Maybe a late change on the app, but at the moment I'll be sticking with Port.
Yep. Steelo?
Game of the round.
I've Port. Yeah,
Port.
Finished off with Port.
Cool. Alright, I'm going to have to say Port as well. How integral is Tex Walker to the leadership role of Adelaide on the field?
Huge.
Well, he's not there, so that's my point.
Right. Gonna be missing.
Alright, next game, Saturday Night Football at Marvel Stadium. It's the rivalry. Saints versus Cats. Ryan.
Daniel.
Ryan.
Doesn't this one remind you of round 14, 2009, mate? Whoa.
Oh, it takes me way back. Oh, God, no. What a belter.
What a classic. What a classic.
Such a classic.
Mate, the game of the year, Nathan, both sides went in 2009 undefeated both by round 14, mate, and the Saints got away with the win. So,
fair enough.
And what ended up happening that year?
The Cats ended up winning the granny beauty against the Saints. So, I reckon, I'm just going to go off a bit of history here. The last couple of years, the actual Saints have beaten us at home, both at Marvel, both last couple of years. So I'm actually going to stick with the trend And I'm going to say the Saints are going to win this week against the Caddies. Bit of an upset for the Cats, and it's going to be a bit of a reality check, but I reckon the speed of the Saints will run past the Caddies, mate, and it's going to be history repeating itself. So the Saints for me, guys.
Fair enough, Reeves.
Look, I am just going to buck the trend a bit here, and I've got to not tip the Saints this week. I think I'm going to jump on the friend train. Yes, I mean, I just think that you guys' season is so fired, and we'll probably play a high-end game here. Bit of a slingshot. We'll be out to try and win it, but I think you guys will pick us apart with your cleanliness of skill and, you know, guys like Jezza and Close and, you know, just a plethora of small forward that are so talented that I just feel like Geelong will get up by maybe 16 points.
Well, there we go. Steelo, who you got?
I think it's a tough one.
Who's your friend? Who's a better friend?
Yeah. Even though Fenno never tips his own team, never tips the Cats, I reckon I'm going to have to tip him here. I mean, I reckon, yeah, the Saints need something. Hopefully they can get something for the supporters, you know. But it's a bit of a hard draw. And, yeah, I reckon, you know, I really always hope the Saints win, but I'm going to have to tip the Cats.
Yeah, look, I'm getting on the friend train. Ryan is a good friend of mine.
Boys.
So I'm hopping on. Choo-choo, let's go. There you go.
Double choo-choo. I've got the double
cat.
choo-choo. I've got the triple choo-choo happening here.
Hey, look, Cats going to play finals. Saints are not.
Can we just confirm who you're going for, Ryan?
The Saints.
Yeah, beauty. Good to know.
I reckon you're both going to change.
I'm not. I've been eyeing this off for weeks. This game, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Fair enough. All right. The next game, Sunday football at Marvel Stadium. It is the Doggies versus the Kangaroos. Wheels, who you got?
I was actually trying to think of a bit of a classic game between these two, and I actually couldn't really think of any. So don't worry about it. So I'm just going to tip the Doggies.
Fair enough. Reeves, who you got?
Look, I can't mount a case for North here, but I mean, even last week with the Dogs slipping up, and you just hate to see all of a sudden a form slip, and a team like North who have showed good form. Doggies.
All right. Steelo, who you got?
Which team, sorry?
Doggies North.
Doggies in North.
At Marvel.
I'm going to have to lean with the Doggies. They play good footy at Marvel. They always play good footy at Marvel. They've shown us up a few times, so yeah, I reckon, especially against North at the moment, they've shown a little bit of form, but yeah, Doggies pretty comfortably.
No, fair enough. Well, I think the Doggies, but I do think North Melbourne will be up at one of the quarter breaks.
Ooh, probably the first quarter.
Probably the first quarter, yeah. All right, moving on. Next game, Hawthorn versus Richmond at the G. Sunday football. Wheels.
Jeez. Doesn't this one take you back to Dustin Martin's 300th game that felt like it was only a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, it takes me right back there.
I swear they only played like a few weeks ago, these two.
Well, hang on, I'll tell you.
It was about 8 weeks ago, I reckon. But, yeah, going for the Hawks, mate, and they're just going to cement themselves in that top 8, boys. Scary times.
It's the funny thing about this game.
It was last month.
Yeah, but it was Dusty's 300. It didn't feel like long ago, did it? And considering St Kilda still hasn't played Carlton yet this year.
Yeah, Geelong still hasn't played West Coast yet.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a novelty central, this competition, but we'll get past that.
Like
you
5
know,
games ago.
The poor Saints are playing the Cats twice.
Yeah, we're coming back. We still haven't played Carlton, but here we are playing Geelong for a second time. But more importantly, I mean, I just think Hawthorn are going to get a motor on here. They got the 70+ point win last week to get the percentage above Carlton, and I think they'll really grind Richmond into the ground here and get a probably solid 40+ point win. And their percentage is going to build into early days. It was an issue. They're almost a game behind everyone with percentage. Now they're right up there, and they're almost got a better percentage than 3 or 4 teams in the 8. So timely time to get Richmond for Hawthorn, isn't it?
No. Steelo.
Very tiny.
I've
Who you
just got
got?
the Hawks in this one, mate.
Yeah, Hawks straight up. I don't know why we spent so much talking about it. So yeah, Hawks. West
Because
Coast.
of Dusty's 300th.
Oh, is he playing? But no. Alright. Last game
Oh,
of
he's
the
not playing his
round.
301st game.
There you go. West Coast versus Carlton at Optus Stadium. Wheels, who you got?
Well, it's been well documented in this episode here on All for Footy, and I reckon the Blues are way too injured, so I'm actually tipping West Coast for this game.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Raves.
Well, let's just revert it back to Dusty for a sec. Apparently, Dusty lost
What the
the last 10 games in a row. So just another Dusty fact. But
Just hold on, just a quick one too, mate. I'm just going to say, and they're going to do it for Andrew Gaff too, mate. That's going to retire, plays last home game in front of the faithfuls. So
it's also why I'm tipping West Coast this week as well. So
There you go.
genuinely, it's just something about West Coast at the moment. I think they've turned the corner a bit this season with their game style, attitude. Got the new coach in. Harley Reid, these sort of guys energising them, and I don't see why they're probably not a bit more of a middle of the road side compared to a bottom of the table side. And Carlton, I mean, they've dropped down to the middle of the table. So yeah, really thinking this is a 50-50 game here, and I'm going to go the home side.
Fair enough. Steelo, who you got?
Yeah, I'll have to agree with Doctor there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
well, Jesus, West Coast across the board. Except for
And
me,
then-
I'm going Carlton, so
Hey.
I'm going to beat you on that one.
Can't wait to watch this.
Carlton are going to
what's
come back.
actually? Can someone bring up the odds? What are the actual odds for that game?
$3.
Mate, I don't look at the odds.
Actually, you know what?
Just for the
Let me
listeners.
check. I'm going to check quickly because it was $3.50 to $1.30, and then I feel like I checked before, and it's now
$1.96 to $1.89.
Oh,
So it just
that's
closed in a day and a half. It's gone from $3.30 into even money. So,
Damn, people are really backing West Coast this week.
but it
Far
to me,
out.
it's genuine. It's not flavor of the month sort of thing. It's list versus list, and yeah. So wow, what a game to
and
watch.
form too, and don't forget the Blues' form's been way off.
Yeah, it has, but I think they will bounce back against this dog crap team. So, yeah. Hey, I'll put it as nicely as I want. All right, let's
I'm
move
not
on.
tipping them this week because last week I gave them the faith, and now I'm like, nah, you burnt
Cool.
me. I can't tip his again, Carlton. Get stuff.
Yep. Well, let's move on to closing thoughts. Wheels, what's your closing thoughts?
Oh, mate, always footy, isn't it? So,
always
yeah,
footy.
just kick the footy
Rumben?
around. Pardon?
Can we get a Karumba?
Yeah, went down and saw the boys play and watched the Rezzies too, mate. God, they got some skills, far out. But
Yeah.
yeah, mate, the boys got the win, so they're sitting fourth on the ladder. So I'll go watch them on the Saturday, mate.
Nice.
So they're back in it. Yeah, just not much, mate. Footy, and then more footy, and then maybe a bit of Bruce on the Sunday before more footy. So
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. So that's me, guys, and yeah, mate. For the listeners out there, hope it's your team that gets the win this weekend. So
That's it. Reeves, closing thoughts.
No, look, I just hope that paint dries in time for the wheels as well. You gotta let that paint dry nice and efficiently. But I'm just hoping tonight that when I order my quarter pounder with extra onion and with lettuce in it, and my 6 McNuggets with my Big Mac dipping sauce on the side, that it all rolls up nice and warm and it doesn't take too long. I've just ordered it, hence why my head was down through the last few tips. But it should rock up nice and warm and be quite tasty because McDonald's are a good establishment and I enjoy their food. Very.
did you get the tech guy some food?
It's cool.
I also ordered him some food. And Steelo,
Yeah, he's here. Talk.
Yep. It's called a deluxe quarter pounder with that one, mate. But anyway.
I know, so I was going to say, do you want one?
Yeah, you pay the favour, eh?
Yeah, and you're going to pull through, but...
Rock and roll, mate. I'm a hurricane.
Yeah, he's heading over.
Here
So
I
what is it?
am.
A deluxe quarter pounder.
I'm just at the front door.
Oh! Yeah, well, while I got you, do you want one?
Yeah, you know it.
There you go.
Mate,
Game on.
I better not still be on this pod when he arrives to your house,
I'm
Reece.
alright. I don't have to. Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, closing thoughts. Steele, do you have any closing thoughts for us?
I think I've
Make sure Revy orders that
just
burger.
go Lions, mate. Go the
Lions,
bloody
that's it.
Lions. Go the
Keep
Kangas.
sweet, keep
Kangas are
simple.
playing in the finals as well. Get down there, but I can't make it, unfortunately. I'd be only able to see the first quarter and then run off to the G to watch the Lions play. So it's going to be a huge game. Let's go.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. Closing thoughts for me. This weekend, big weekend plans for Bruce Rando. Friday night, Fortnite streams. Get in there. He might be playing by himself, but he hopes to be playing with some friends and other possible other streamers. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully he doesn't go it alone. And then Sunday he'll be doing a bit of a different stream. He'll be doing going over some horror movies and ranking some horror movies.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Top 50 or?
Oh, you'll have to wait and see. You'll have to
Ooh.
wait and see.
I'm gonna have to tune in.
I'm
now.
actually quite scared of this.
Yeah.
All right,
Time's that
well,
kicking off on Sunday?
from us at All for Footy, that's it. And we're out.